Hi everyone. In case you're watching this, we decided to actually air our test session. Welcome to our first tryout of A Tale of Wizards and Bribes, which is basically a Dungeons and Dragons campaign set in the universe of Blood Bowl. For those of you who don't know, Blood Bowl is an alternate universe of Warhammer where instead of people fighting each other on the battlefield, we have Blood Bowl, American football style. It's awesome. Over here to my left, you see Allard and Nafmi, two of my friends with whom I've been playing tabletop role-playing games for about 2 decades now.
God, we're old.
Yes.
Yes.
I think it's been that long. Yeah.
Yeah. So we know each other pretty well, but we've never done anything like this before. So that might take some getting used to. Would you guys like to say something?
Yeah. Are we going to introduce ourselves already? Is that what we're going to do? Yeah.
Sounds okay.
Okay. Well, I'll start. I'm Allard. I've been role-playing for, well, at least 20 years. Probably longer. Yeah, actually longer. I think 25 is more like it. And I've been role-playing with these guys for at least 20 years, which is crazy to think about. But there it is. I've done a lot of I've been a storyteller quite a lot. I like creating crazy stories, and that's what I'm going to do now as well, I think. So hopefully it's fun.
All right, cool. I'm Nafmi. I've just like these guys, I've been role playing for quite a while. Know both of these guys, I think, more than 20 years, which is, like they said, crazy to think about. I've never done any role-playing online, so this is interesting for me. I've actually not used Skype for a while, so even Skype's kind of new. How's this thing?
This version. Yeah.
It also tends to update in weird ways that are annoying.
Yeah. So I'm for one of the few times in my life, I'm actually the first time for me to be the person to not know anything about the system. So I shall be fumbling my way through, but it should be cool.
Well, fumbling is very Blood Bowl, so. So it might be worth pointing out, we're going to be using Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, and Allard is pretty familiar with this. I'm somewhat familiar with this. Nafmi is new to 5th edition. I have no
idea what I'm doing.
But he's played plenty of 3rd and 4th, and also Vampire and other stuff.
Yes.
We're using Roll20 to as a support for how we're doing this. As you can see down there, basically, that's the dice log. If we're switching to a different view, you can actually see what's going on in the whole system. And it might also be worth pointing out that I know a lot about Blood Bowl as a coach, not too much about the fluff. So we might somehow mix things up a little bit there. And Allard knows.
I've done some thinking about this matter. I mean, I've done a little bit of role-playing in the Warhammer Fantasy setting, so I know it somewhat. But obviously, I've never done any role-playing in the Blood Bowl setting. Actually, I'm not sure there's that much role-playing going on in the Blood Bowl setting. If there is, I haven't found any sources of it, really.
Well, there is now.
We're a bit of pioneers when it comes to that. And as far as I know, the setting isn't that established. But maybe in some dark corner, there's actually lots of lore about how the setting should work.
You're about to get some emails from Games Workshop.
Yeah, possibly. So maybe we're going to stuff it up entirely, and things aren't going to be according to lore. And it's also possible, and even more likely, I think, that we're going to stuff things up when it comes to the rules. And if things like that happen, it would be great to hear about it afterwards. But I think that as we're streaming a session, we're not going to focus on that too much. If we're going to do a rule wrong, we're just going to go on, and then afterwards we're going to hopefully read up on it and correct it for the next time.
Exactly.
Plain speak, keep it civil.
Yeah. For us, story and flow come first, and we're going to try and do things according to the system when it's good for the story. And when it's not, we do it differently.
Yeah.
The golden rule of role-playing, basically.
Is that all the introduction out of the way? And should we get towards the story?
Yeah, I guess you probably have some sort of introduction in mind already?
Yes. Though now that I'm thinking about it, I had an introduction sort of in mind for you guys, but I'll quickly tell a little bit about the story itself so that the viewers sort of know what's going on. We'll be playing the game in the Empire, and the Empire in the world of Blood Bowl and also in the world of Warhammer Fantasy Role Playing is the largest empire, which is populated mostly by humans. I think in the Warhammer Fantasy Role Playing it's almost only humans. In this setting, it's a little bit more mixed, but it's still very highly dominated by humans. And other races, there are a few of them, but they're oddities for the most part. This empire consists of provinces. And these provinces are actually, for their own right, sort of kingdoms themselves. You could say that there's kingdoms in an empire. And one of these kingdoms is the kingdom. Yeah, I'm thinking about, should I call it province or kingdom? Let's go with province. One of the provinces is called Ostland.
And you see it right over here on the map.
Yeah,
there you go.
This is the map of Ostland, indeed. And Ostland is one of the more northern provinces of the empire, which means it's fairly close to where Chaos and the Norse are. So it's just an area that has to deal with a lot of trouble. You know, it's not nice having the Chaos nearby, because they're always trying to get in the territory, cause problems. And that's true in this world as well. The big difference in the thing in this world is that everything is kind of about Blood Bowl. The entire world revolves around this sport.
It sounds like my life.
Yeah, it's exactly like Jasper's life. I like to say it's life. And what you have is that everyone is basically trying to expand their influence, get themselves more powerful, but they do this mostly through the game of Blood Bowl. There are still conflicts, as you would have in normal wars, but those are very rare. For the most part, conflicts are decided through Blood Bowl. If a certain noble has a team that's incredibly successful, he will see his power increase greatly. And that's kind of how this world works.
It's also how you win the support of the people and how you win prestige. Yes. Exactly.
Well, like I said before, we are here in the province of Ostland, and the Sage and Nafmi have characters that are working for the current Lord of Ostland, which is a man called Galen von Raukov. And Galen has been the Lord of Ostland for only a short time, and that is because before he was Lord, his brother was Lord of Ostland. But his brother has gone and probably gotten himself killed. It isn't entirely clear if he's dead, but most likely he is. At the very least, he's gone. And after his disappearance, his brother has taken over. But the manner in which Galen's brother died was not entirely to the Emperor's liking. The Emperor really tried to dissuade him from certain course of actions, but he ignored the Emperor's advice and did it anyway, and then got himself killed, or at least is gone now. So the Emperor was sort of upset and wasn't exactly excited about the von Raukovs anymore. But his brother went back to the capital and talked to the Emperor and managed to impress him enough that the Emperor said, "All right, I'll give you a chance. You can go back and you'll be Lord of Ostland, but I won't give you the Count title, which normally rulers would have." So he doesn't have I mean, he's the ruler, but he doesn't have the title that should go with it. So his position is very precarious. And to make matters worse, the team that he has, and I have to quickly look up what Leinster Shield, yeah, Leinster Shield, that's right. The team that has been basically the team for the Von Raukovs is a team called Leinster Shield. And this local team has been doing very, very poorly lately. It used to be a very strong team that even went to some very prestigious competitions. But lately it's been doing really, really bad. And in a game not long ago, most of its important players have been killed and the others have left for the most part. There's only one player who's really been in the team a long time that's still in the team. So it's a tough position. That's kind of where we're starting the story. I guess I'll tell a little bit more. There's one thing to add. There is what will be a major thing in the story is the Oostland Blood Bowl competition. It's basically a competition between 20 teams, which in theory every team should play each other 2 times. And then at the end, there's a winner and there are losers, as it goes. In theory, most of the time, at the end of the season, there aren't 20 teams left anymore. So not everyone ends up playing everyone 2 times. But they should in theory, but it doesn't happen. And this competition is going to be key in the story. It used to be that the competition was basically a competition between human teams, mostly just Imperial humans, with sometimes an other team like a Kislev team or a Bretonnian team showing up, which are basically humans that have a different culture. Kind of like the French showing up in the game for the English. I don't know, would be a bit odd.
Do we hate the French?
Well,
everyone mostly hates
we hate the Bretonnians. Let's leave it at that.
Yeah. But anyway, that happened. But now things have gotten so bad that other races have shown up in the competition. So there's teams like Dark Elves and Chaos Dwarves and Goblins and all that sort of strange races that should not be in this competition.
They're taking our jobs.
Yeah, they are in the competition. And the reason that they're in the competition is that the people of Oostland have kind of mostly lost faith in the human teams. They're like, yeah, it's nice that they're humans. I mean, we're humans too, but
nothing's better than a good Blood Bowl team.
Game. They suck so much. So it's so much more fun to cheer for this other team that actually succeeds at something. And the greatest offender in all of this are the Chaos teams, which there are
of course
3 or 4 of in the competition of in total 20 teams. So they are a major party in the competition now.
So the question is, have they been sabotaging the Leinster Shield?
Of course they have.
Ooh.
This is known.
There's certainly reason to think such things might have happened. But I think that's enough about the setting. And I think this is a good idea, a moment to introduce your characters.
All right. Shall I go first?
Yeah.
Because I don't know your character yet.
Yeah. All right. So I'm playing as Siegfried the Wicked. He is a 55-year-old human wizard. He was doing quite okay for himself. He was a minor court wizard for the Imperial Court, which is quite prestigious, even though it wasn't a top position. But, well, things happened, and he's not really welcome there anymore, or in any other official position working for nobles. So now he's going through life doing less official positions. He's still got useful skills, and people do want to employ him, as long as their name is not connected to his too publicly. He's a grumpy old sod. He looks down on people a lot. He doesn't really get along with everyone quite all that well. and you're going to have to work really hard to get on his good side, or you might not even want to.
All right. Sounds kind of mysterious.
Well, I don't like to get into things from my past too much. It's kind of embarrassing.
All right, cool. Anything more?
No, that's good. That's enough for a start, I think. The rest will come later.
All right. So my character is called Alexei. Alexei is a former Blood Bowl player. He's very young to not be a Blood Bowl player anymore. But that is because Alexei, who was formerly known as Ushmeshka, which is the grin, has gotten seriously injured and could no longer perform at top level.
This happens a lot with Blood Bowl players.
This is true. Unfortunately, Alexei's talent, or the thing he was most renowned for, was that he could not be hit. And suddenly he did get hit a lot. And that ended his career quite swiftly. Mm-hmm. The current, I think it's called the Lord. I'm going to call him the Lord because he's not a count.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
All right. Was a great fan of Alexei in his heydays when he was 17. Mm-hmm. And because he felt sad for him that this young talent was now injured, he has taken him under his wing and is, I don't know what Alexei's doing there. Alexei doesn't know himself what he's doing there because, as far as Alexei knows, he doesn't have any governing skills or things that a count or lord would need. But he's been kept around and kept busy.
Yes.
He's been proven himself to be a quite talented messenger because for some reason Alexei gets the messages across fast.
Well, I can say a little bit about why he might want to have you around, or at least what he said about such. Lord Raukov, von Raukov, welcomed both of you to Risted and asked you to stay close by and work for him directly. And what he told you is that the success of Leinster Shield is critical to the future of Ostland and to the future of his family. And he said that the game of Blood Bowl is played on the pitch, but perhaps the game that's played off the pitch is even more crucial to the success of a team. And so you do know that in that capacity, the two of you are supposed to play a role. How exactly that role is going to take form, he hasn't really elaborated on that yet, but you at least have some sort of an idea of what he expects.
Does he expect us to remain within the rules of the competition?
Well, that hasn't been discussed entirely.
What are you implying, Siegfried?
Well, if we're gonna do illicit stuff, I'd at least like to know that we're supposed to.
Well,
because Alexei doesn't even know how to spell illicit, so that'll be good.
Well, since cheating is actually in the rules, I'm not sure, if it's really against the rules, if it's in the rules, so you should be able to cheat.
If there was no cheating, there wouldn't be goblins. Fair enough.
There you go.
Right. So this session is a bit of a prologue, so that if this doesn't end up being used, we can still just start and it'll be fine. But it's kind of like an introduction to the village or town of Risted, village, and to your characters and what kind of people you are.
So for my own reference, if we're looking at this map, Castle Leinster is the castle where the Count, now Lord, lives.
That's right.
And it's in Risted.
It's very close by. So there's basically a road which goes through Risted, and this road leads to Castle Leinster. I think I've actually even given that road a name.
Wow.
It's called Leinster Pride. That's the road. Okay. So that's it. On the map, you can see that small dotted road.
Yep.
That's Leinster Pride, basically.
Okay.
I expect that road to be paved in gold.
Well,
Or
I
rainbow
mean,
colors.
Gold, I say.
Not
Rainbow
everything
colors.
can
Links to
reach our
Pride.
expectations, I suppose. So, but someone might have tried to paint it yellow sometime.
And man, was he proud.
It was like, that's some nice yellow. So I've already shared with both of you a document about Rishlet. And I think we'll start by telling people a bit about Rishlet. Jasper, can you open the documents about Rishlet?
Way ahead of you. We're
And then
looking at it
there's
right now.
two pictures, I think.
Yeah.
And then people can see what Rishlet looks like roughly.
Aw, it's a cute place.
Yeah, it's quite cute. It's quite nice. I'll read about Rishlet while the pictures are there. Rishlet is amongst the most beautiful and peaceful of all the villages in Osland. While stone houses with red roofs dominate most of the village, there are tons of small roads giving the town a maze-like quality. There is only one large road, Lengster Pride. Lengster Pride is a wide road, but during most of the day it is filled with merchant stalls, making it a crowded place. The people of Rishlet seem content. Despite the poor performance of Lengster Shield, chaos or vampire corruption has not yet reached Rishlet. Men bearing the sigil of House von Raukov patrol the street, which is an interesting fact because for the most part, the world of Blood Bowl is a very dangerous place for most people. Not at all safe, but this village is actually being protected by the soldiers of the von Raukovs.
And yet they support the filthy chaos teams.
Horrible
Disloyal people.
Yes.
We should all take them down.
Yes, they should all be killed.
Hey, you can actually see Castle Leinster in one of the images.
Oh, yeah.
I like it.
Yes.
In the background on the bottom picture.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah. That is kind of indeed the idea that you see the road going up there, and then there's
Cool.
yeah. That is kind of cool.
Cool.
You guys are in Leinster. At the moment, you don't really have a task that you need to perform.
Have we been introduced to each other yet?
Yes, you have. You have been introduced to each other. You have met Lord von Raukov, and he has introduced you to each other. And he has told you that you will be working together. And what he has asked of you to do is, he has basically told you, well, I'm going to have work for you guys soon. But until I know what I want you to do, just spend some time in the village, and if at all possible, get acquainted with each other somewhat, that at least you can work together in dangerous situations.
All right.
Work together?
In dangerous situations.
I know I said I would work for you, but I didn't realize that would involve working together.
Well,
We'll be fine.
you'll need someone to keep you from getting stabbed by people.
Stabbed?
Well, yes, it's something that can happen.
You weren't kidding when you said dangerous.
Well, I mean, it's a dangerous world we live in.
Wat is de... it is the
wives are
wives.
The wives are going. My girlfriend is actually in the other room, so.
This is not a competition, Alan.
Isn't it? This said there.
Oh god, he's actually getting the wife.
She probably didn't hear me. All right. Let's see now.
So,
Looking something up.
we are going out drinking then. Is that the plan?
It sounds like a great idea.
I think that's a good idea.
It's almost noon. Beer o'clock.
Beer o'clock.
Yeah,
Isn't it almost
exactly.
Yes, exactly.
I like
So-
your style.
There are several taverns in Rishtet, but I suppose since you've been giving a fair amount of coin to spend,
We're going to the cheapest so we can drink the longest.
Well, yes, but it kind of depends on what kind of quality ale or beer you're used to, I suppose.
It kind of gets you drunk.
I used to be in the Imperial Court. I cannot handle anything less than supreme quality. I'm sorry. But if it's too expensive for your tastes, then feel free to pick another establishment.
I glanced into my coin collection. I think I can manage Imperial quality. And as I have never had beer of Imperial quality, I might give that a try.
Right. After me, then.
After you.
Well, there's a small tavern nearby, but it's one of the two nicer ones in the village. It's called the White Deer Inn. It's a very original name.
There's always a white deer.
For those of you out there, for the last 20 years, adventures have started in the White Deer Inn more often than not. Well, to be fair, it's been the Red Deer Inn quite a lot.
Red Deer Inn.
Yeah, that's true. Yes. That's true. He changed it up a bit.
Actually, it should be called the Red Deer Inn now I think about it, because red is the kind of the color for Raukov. So now it's been changed into the Red Deer Inn, which makes much more sense.
Could it be a sign that said white and then have it crossed out and make it red?
Yes, actually what happened is that someone drew a white deer, which somewhat actually looks like a stag, but I suppose it's still a deer, right? On it, and which probably was drawn or painted very neatly. And someone else came along and drew not so neatly a red deer on top of it. Which looks a bit shabby compared to the white one that you can still see under it. But there it is. At least it's red now.
There's so many things wrong with what happened here because he could have just painted the white one red.
Yeah, well, maybe the painter wasn't the smartest, the sharpest tool in the box. Who knows?
Trust me, people are idiots, almost without exception.
And that's why we drink Imperial beer. Well, it's probably the same one as the beer from the local tavern.
So you enter the tavern or inn, which it's a bit of both, I suppose, and you are greeted by a wealthy, rich, and happy environment. People look cheerful and are enjoying a drink. It's a nice place to be.
All right, cool. Let's get some beer.
Yeah. A waitress comes over and she already has a few beers in hand, and she smiles at you and she has all her teeth, which is nice because it's not a luxury you always be accustomed to. But she has her teeth, which is nice. And she smiles.
I complimented her on having teeth.
Thank you.
Such a charmer, honestly.
She blushes, not knowing what to say on that. She says, "Fine gentlemen, welcome to the Red Deer Inn. So, what would you like to drink?"
He says, I say, my friend here has been boasting about the Imperial quality beer that's apparently available here. I would like to have a tankard of that beer.
Yes. What do you have that's from the capital?
Oh.
Well, we've got a few. We've got the Spiken beer. We've got the Bloodweiser. Well, I suppose it's not from the Empire. Famous.
Bloodweiser will do.
Several that are from the capital?
Oh, well, from the region at least, yes.
Haven't you heard? Microbreweries are a thing.
But how many do you actually have?
So we have 5 different ones from the region.
I'll have one of each.
So that's fine.
I should not discriminate any beer.
Nou goed, the waitress has to walk back and forth a few times because it's a lot of beer, since you can only carry so many tankards. While she does that, you're sort of left to your own devices.
So, Siegfried.
Alexei?
Alexei, that's me.
Yes.
You played, right? An older disposition.
You've played, right?
Yes, I have. Unfortunately, not as long as I wanted, but I've played.
What position did you play as?
I was a catcher.
Hmm.
I dare to say I was quite good until I wasn't anymore.
I see. I see. So, what happened?
I got hit a lot, hard, over
Yeah.
and over.
Yeah, I can see how that might happen. When I get involved in the glorious sport, it's usually from a safe distance.
Well, the sport's actually kind of great, especially when you're a catcher, and especially if you don't get hit, because, well, yeah, that's part of the game, isn't it? And well, I used to not get hit, and things were pretty cool. It was in all the papers, even. Yeah. Out of character, my character starts to get like a dreamy look, as if he remembers the chanting of the crowd, the women throwing him at his feet. Yeah.
Fame.
Being me was kind of great.
Alexei.
I can almost hear the chants going.
Yeah, my character his face starts to break out in an impeccable grin that just almost like it's plastered on his face.
All right, I'll give you a minute looking at you like this.
Mm-hmm.
Oi.
Wait. Well,
Beer's here.
I think I wandered there. But
Well,
yourself,
yeah.
you play? Because
So I
you
got
said
my-
you kind of try to keep away, but is that out of experience or?
Well, I think Blood Bowl is a gloriously violent sport. Best
It is.
left to the younger.
Well, there are some of the older ones who, well, I've been tackled by someone twice my age.
I've won plenty of games for teams. You know,
Cool.
a single strike, a lightning bolt, a fireball.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
Oh.
makes good money too.
Oh yeah, I can imagine. I did hear about teams losing because of strange lightning strikes from the on clear and sunny days.
Well, you know, I mean, we're for hire. It's I'm sure your team has had the occasional wizard on the sidelines. We even have
Yes, but
a union.
But they were only there for medical assistance.
Nah.
Oh, wow. That kind of ruins the dream, doesn't it?
Just how hard did they hit you on the head, dude?
They never hit me in the head. Nobody touches the face.
Well, you guys are enjoying a few beers like this, and after a while, a guard enters the establishment, and he's a very scrawny-looking young man. He's wearing armor and the armor of the von Raukovs, but he seems one size too small for the armor he's wearing. He looks around, a bit skitterish, a bit like, what am I looking for? And then his eyes fall on the two of you, and he walks up to your table and looks at one of you and then the other and says, hello?
Hello?
Hi.
Yes.
I heard a rumor that you were working for the Lord.
I tried desperately not to copy the stutter and swallow deeply and say, where did you get these rumors?
And what do you want?
Well, there is a disturbance, and
I sense a great disturbance.
I need someone to help me.
But you're a guard.
Well, yes, but there were.
I'm not a guard.
Would be kind of daft having to guard him when he's a guard.
Yeah, that's kind of, I don't know.
Yeah, well, I mean, they look
Shouldn't
dangerous.
you be getting other guards?
They look dangerous. That sounds like a job for the city guard.
Yeah, or
Right.
maybe the other guards should look dangerous. Maybe he doesn't want to talk to them. Is this like a peer pressure kind of thing that they all goaded you into go get those strangers over there and get them to fight the guards?
Is this your first
well,
day?
No.
You sure?
It's
Because I think you might have gotten the wrong costume.
It doesn't matter. Anyway, we need to go quickly. Or I need to find someone else.
Come on, Siegfried. This has got to be good. I want to see how long this goes on. I make to get up.
All right. I down my beer. I look at the 4 beer mugs in front of Alexei. As he walks off, I'm just chugging away. All right, I'm coming.
You, small guard boy, I say.
The guard looks at you, is sort of confused.
Hold my beer.
He holds it, and I
pay the waitress for the beers, and I thank her and say, "We will return."
So she smiles. She and says, "Well, great. We'll be looking forward to your return." The guard looks at the tankard and then looks at you and says, "Are you?
Busy getting very drunk. You might want to hurry to get me through this disturbance, or I might not be able to function at all."
I think you've got a fan.
Of course, I'll try and talk over it before he actually starts saying stuff.
That might
you
take
guys
a while,
go outside and walk through Ridstead, and he takes you to another inn, which is at the edge of town, which I'll share with you
Seriously,
guys.
he's bringing us to another inn. He could have just said so in the beginning.
Yes,
we would have come along instantly.
He didn't realize that, did he? I mean,
good folk, I need you here. There's a disturbance at another inn. We're there.
he's like,
Your
there's more
princess is
beer
in
there.
another inn.
Yes. Interesting. Oh.
Ooh.
Does this work?
Right.
You guys see this?
Yes,
Yeah,
I see it.
All right.
There we go.
Maybe you can make it a bit bigger, and I'll read the text. So, you guys head to the inn at the edge of Ridstead, which is called the Lost Goose, which looks roughly like this. The Lost Goose is the inn at the edge of Ridstead. The Lost Goose is where the poor come to drink away their misery. Merchants and other travelers who are down on their luck come to spend the night at the Lost Goose, because they can't pay the rent at the rooms at the more expensive inns. The Lost Goose is almost always crowded, and though the patrons of the Lost Goose tend to be poor, they're usually not unsavory. It's not uncommon to have children and animals running around the inn.
Dude, this might seriously be the inn I wanted to go to in the first place.
Probably it was. When you're thinking, what's the place where I can just drink the most? And then this would be the place.
I have a running tab here.
I stop outside the entrance.
You do know that the waiters don't have all their teeth here, so that's.
We're not actually thinking of going in there, are we?
Dude, the kids inside here are great. They hold your beer without even asking. Let's go. The disturbance inside.
Yes.
I've read a study that it actually doesn't help people who stutter to finish their sentences for them.
Yeah, but it does make things go a shitload faster, dude.
Granted.
Let's go!
All right.
I can smell the beer.
You enter inside, and when you enter, you see that a man is speaking to those that are gathered here in the inn. And I've also have a picture of this dude, though I have to admit it's not entirely accurate, but it's close enough.
Holy crap.
It's for the most part this guy, but there's one difference from the picture, and it is that his hands are clawed. And
he's still holding the axe though, and the giant jacket.
Well, not right now.
Mutant.
Not right now, but he could in theory. But he has got long, sharp fingers, which wish he could stab people.
You already know that people from the Chaos affiliations sometimes grow these, and they hurt. They cut through armor like it's nothing.
Yes.
Which
You're
doesn't
telling me
bother
this
you.
because I don't know these things.
Yes, this is why I'm telling you that you know this.
Yes, you know this in game. It's also
I
a
decided
sign.
to drink my beer.
Yeah, it's a sign of chaos corruption, and chaos corruption is mostly considered one of the most horrible things to be feared, basically, in the world. But this man is talking to these people. Okay, the people listening seem, they seem uncomfortable by what he's saying, and they're uncertain how to react.
I'm uncomfortable and uncertain how to react.
Yes, he's bare-chested and wears dark pants.
So what's the disturbance? Is it the fact that he's talking?
Or the fact that he's not wearing a shirt?
It's more what he's saying. He's speaking to the crowd and says, "Ha ha ha! The old teams in this land are boring and weak. It is time for them to be gone. It is time for a new dawn. Something greater, something more exciting, something more bloody. It is time to embrace chaos."
This guy's starting to piss me off.
Well, I mean, he's got something of a point.
I look at you grumpily. Lancashire Shield used to be the greatest team in the country.
Used to be. And now it's not, right?
Yeah, maybe because of wizards like you.
While you guys are talking amongst yourself, he keeps going. He says, "The people, you here, you can start following a new team. You can start following chaos. You can embrace our gifts. You can start cheering for our beastmen. And you can see non-stop slaughter. It will be glorious."
I do wonder, though, being part of this beast following, you have to grow the claws yourself as well. I say this out loud while after downing my beer.
Okay. Well, he looks up at you, noticing you sort of for the first time, and
I'm like 5 paces behind you right now.
says, "You can do what you want. It doesn't matter."
Do I not have to look at you? Because, woof.
As a fun, the chaos gods have presented me with a gift.
Out of character, my character has a
Glorious.
confidence problem.
2 more men step up next to him, and he says, "Now, watch as I show you how powerful chaos has made us." The men move towards, clearly with the intent of starting a fight.
I shake my head. Clearly, Chaos doesn't know when to keep the fight on the field.
Uh-oh.
You want
This
to
is
prove your
not
prowess?
good.
Take it on the field. Show it on the field. Win these people by winning the competitions, not by starting fights in a bar. They're children
Man.
over here.
The man says,
I'm slowly backing away. We're not here. We're not here for a fight. Don't hurt us. I cost my
I came here
armor.
for beer, and this guy's keeping the guy who runs the place occupied.
Well, it doesn't look like he's really wants to listen to your remarks about not wanting to fight. Clearly, he was looking for a fight, and well, you've given him an excuse, which is more than he needed actually. So now we're here.
Alright YouTube, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, remember to leave it a thumbs up at the bottom. And of course, if you'd like to see more videos, do check out the channel and hit subscribe on your top right.